Larry Fessenden, but distributed through Dark Sky Selects. It is Blackout. This is a newer, it says 2023, but I don't really think it came out to this year. Werewolf flick from Larry Fessenden, who you might know from Habit and Beneath and Deprived or Depraved or whatever you want to call it. And he had that box set that Spring Factory released. And he's kind of done all the monsters if you really think about it. There's a special feature in here that kind of reminds me. He's done vampires. He's done like Frankenstein. This is his werewolf deal, and it is really good. Like, I mean, I like Larry Fessenden movies, but this is like the best one he's ever done, according to me. And it's a little long, which I mean, I'm always bitching about movies being a little long, but this one's a little long, and sometimes it tries to be pretty, like maybe more clever for its own good than it should be. Kind of like at one point where we kind of waste time on a character that doesn't really hang around that long. Other than that, it's good. You got this dude who he's turned into a werewolf, obviously, and of course he's got a girl he's in love with, and that's another story. But he's going through and he's killing people, and he's trying to basically plot his demise because he feels really guilty for what he's done, and of course his plot goes haywire and whatnot. And then the townspeople think it's this Hispanic guy that did it, or at least some rednecks did it. So the movie's really good. It's got really good gore. It's really bloody. There's your slipcase there for it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 4. Probably would have gave it or 3.5 out of 5. I probably would have given it a 4 if it wasn't for the fact that some stuff like he can't control himself and he kills kids and stuff. But near the end of the movie, he kind of becomes more in control of it a little bit. And I just wonder a little bit if that's not because maybe it's the third night, or like maybe as it goes on and the full moon lasts like a few days, maybe he becomes more able to control it. I don't know. I feel like they kind of copped out on some stuff with that logic, and some stuff maybe should have went a little bit better. Other than that, lots of gore, lots of blood, which is the same thing. It's just overall, it's a fun movie. Got some fun characters. There's, I think, was what the original cover was. There's a little bit of a write up there. You get your there's the werewolf. So yeah, spoiler alert, there's what your werewolf looks like. Looks good. I can't complain about that. I think the characters are good enough. The story is good enough. Another downside that probably stopped me from giving it a 4 was there is some characters that they're kind of redneck, and they're kind of like in this lynch mob sort of thing when they're blaming stuff with Hispanic people. And there's this one guy that his accent just does not work. And there's a Hispanic guy too that feels like maybe he was like the director's friend or something, and they just kind of put him in here because the performance is pretty bad. But now I sound like I'm bringing out negatives, but this is a movie I give a 3.5 out of 4. So obviously there's way more positives than there are negatives here. It's a little slow at first. The movie's like an hour and 47 minutes long. But when it gets cooking, it really gets cooking. So just kind of stick with it. It just, I don't know. It's a good character piece, I guess you could say, because you kind of learn a whole lot about the guy that's the werewolf, and you learn about his kind of situation with this girl, and kind of situations with other people. And it's just, it all boils to a head eventually. And I think the end is pretty satisfactory. And that's why I think if this is considered a movie from this year, then probably be on my top 10 list since we are nearing the end of the year. And luckily this year I've seen a lot of stuff, and this is one of the better things that I've seen. But this is like Dark Sky Selects. It was Dark Sky, but now it's Dark Sky Selects for some reason. That right there is easier to read under the light with this phone here, because when you look at it, when I'm looking at it with my bare eyes without this phone and without the zoom in, you can't hardly read that stuff. But you see there about the audio commentary and whatnot, you get on this thing. Good movie. Pick it up. I don't know if every copy will have this slip case or not, but hey, don't let that stop you from watching a good movie.